Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International. I am Nancy Godi Angunihu. On sign language as Shegu Ajayi. First, the headlines. President Tinubu calls on international development financiers to see Africa as destination for growth and prosperity. Federal government announces plans to formalize over 1 million businesses in Nigeria through MSME's clinic. Plus, U.S. President Joe Biden and world leaders commemorate D-Day, pay tributes to fallen heroes. And now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu is calling on international development financiers to see Africa as a destination for growth and prosperity. The president said this when he received a delegation of the International Finance Corporation, a member of the World Bank, at the State House. State House correspondent Musbah Denwahab reports.
President Bola Tinubu is getting more support for the priority areas he has set for his administration. The International Finance Corporation, IFC, under the World Bank Group, is the new addition to the list of potential partners. The financial institution, with second largest portfolio in Africa, is ready to invest more in the largest economy on the continent. And the president is setting the priorities as he urged global financiers, including the IFC, to consider more strategic investments in agriculture, infrastructure, research and development on the continent. But in this, President Tinubu said the world has to see Africa as a continent and help the rest of the world and not as backward, unstable and with leadership problems. He pointed out that Nigeria is ready to change the narrative by collaborating with the rest of the world to see Africa as a destination for growth and prosperity, highlighting the importance of some critical infrastructure projects embarked upon by his administration, such as the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway and the Sokoto-Badagry Expressway. President Tinubu expressed belief that such projects will uplift the living standard of people in the rural areas of the country. President Tinubu got a positive response from the IFC delegation as the managing director informed him that his institution is already engaging some Nigerian partners to enhance agriculture, increase food production through irrigation, upgrade transport networks, and bolster regional integration. He announced a loan of more than $23 million to an agribusiness company in the country.
We are investing largely in fertilizer and would like now to invest more in large-scale agriculture. And the President has given us his support and blessing to go in that direction.
He says the IFC is also supporting small and medium enterprises to ensure value addition in the agricultural sector.
Because when you export raw cocoa beans, it brings you $1 in your reserves. When you export a transformed product, you have $3. So this transformation will help on the macroeconomic side, will help the central bank to have more reserves, but also we create jobs.
The financial institution is, however, conversing local currency lending to companies interested to invest in Nigeria. From the State House, Musbah Denwahab, NTA News.
And still talking Nigeria's economic development, the federal government has announced plans to formalize over 1 million businesses in Nigeria at a discounted rate with the inclusion of ICT facilities in its MSME's clinic. The Vice President of Nigeria, Kashim Shettima, disclosed this when he launched the third expanded National MSME's Clinic in Ekiti State, a nationwide journey to empower small and medium-sized enterprises. We bring you details of this report in subsequent bulletins. The Council of Foreign Ministers of the Developing Aid Organization for Economic Cooperation, D8, will convene its extraordinary meeting on Saturday, 8 June 2024 in Istanbul, Turkey, to discuss the continued deterioration a deteriorating situation in the Gaza Strip, Palestine. Charles Alpha tells us how they are gearing up.
The extraordinary meeting will take place inside the historic Dolmabahce Palace in the city of Istanbul. The meeting will be organized at the invitation of the Turkish Foreign Minister, Mr. Kaan Fidan, and it is expected to galvanize further support and solidarity within the D8 alliance for the people of Palestine, particularly those residing in the besieged Gaza Strip. Ministers and the high-ranking delegation from the D8 member states have confirmed their attendance and will discuss humanitarian assistance and other necessary relief materials to help ease the Palestinian people's current hardship and sufferings. The meeting is expected to draw the attention of the global community to the situation of the people of Palestinians, as well as increased diplomatic pressure on the occupying power to stop the indiscriminate killings of the residents of Gaza Strip. The meeting is also set to provide humanitarian assistance to Palestinians who are in desperate need of food, medicine, and other relief materials. The Council of Foreign Ministers is the D8 organization's political decision-making organ. The meeting is expected to conclude with a joint declaration of the D8 member states. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
And the Netherlands on Thursday kicked off the marathon 4-day European elections with the Dutch far right urging voters to make a crackdown on immigration. Charles Alpha reports that most of the European Union's 27 nations go to the polls on Sunday, with some 370 million people called to vote.
Surveys suggest the far right could grab a quarter of the incoming EU Parliament's 720 seats. And reports say that prospect has rattled the legislature's main groupings, the Conservative European People's Party and the leftist and Democrats. Current European Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen, seeking a second term, has opened the door to her party working with a far right to ensure legislation is passed. Von der Leyen, a polyglot German defense minister, has been courting Italian Premier Giorgia Meloni, who heads the post-fascist Brothers of Italy party. EU leaders, including Meloni, will decide after the elections who should hold the commission. Their choice needs the backing of a simple majority in the European Parliament. The EU recently overhauled immigration policies to toughen its borders and step up deportations. But far-right parties want an even stricter approach. While Wilder's message has galvanized some Dutch voters, for others it has been a wake-up call. Member countries which have thrown their support behind Ukraine as its fight of Russia's invasion are also confronted with increasing US-China rivalry, Mid-East turmoil, trade tensions and climate change. Analysts say that while much attention was on the far-right's predicted surge, the more important question was whether the EPP would ally with far-right lawmakers. Polling data compiled by Political Project predicts von der Leyen's EPP will win 172 seats in the next parliament, followed by the Socialists and Democrats with 143 seats. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
U.S. President Joe Biden on Thursday said the D-Day and the Battle of Normandy 80 years ago were a powerful illustration that alliances make countries stronger. Biden was speaking to veterans, soldiers and political delegations of the American Cemetery in France, where he hailed Ukraine and NATO for the D-Day commemoration. Here is Alpha again with the report.
On June 6, 1944, Allied forces stormed Omaha Beach to defeat Nazi forces who had taken hold in many towns and villages in the northern region. Some 160,000 troops and 7,000 boats landed there, as well as on the nearby beaches of Utah, Juneau, Sword and Gold, as they were dubbed in the Allies' plans. Known officially as the Normandy invasion, it left 4,414 troops killed on that day, including over 2,500 Americans and some 5,000 wounded. A total of 9,843 troops from the US, Britain and Canada were killed in action on June 6 and in the few days thereafter. 80 years later, the invasion holds relevance in the history of not only the Germans, but the US, Canadian, and Britons. US President Joe Biden at the Omaha Beach said the D-Day and the Battle of Normandy 70 years ago were a powerful illustration that alliances make countries stronger, citing NATO as an example as world leaders gathered to mark the day. He said NATO, the greatest military alliance in the history of the world, was established today.
The men who fought here became heroes, not because they were the strongest or toughest or fiercest, although they were, but because they were given an audacious mission, knowing, every one of them knew, the probability of dying was real.
French President Emmanuel Macron, on his part, hailed the fallen soldiers and the veterans, saying they left all behind and took all the risk for independence and for freedom. This, he said, will not be forgotten. Macron earlier held a binational ceremony with King Charles III to mark the 80th anniversary of the D-Day after leading the third international ceremony on Omaha Beach in France. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
The Technical Working Group on Migration and Development has begun the review process of the National Migration Policy of 2015. The National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, with support from the International Organization for Migration, IOM, organized a session to improve social inclusion of migrants and social protection. Ruth Aguele reports.
Nigeria is said to be a country of origin, transit and destination for migration. It has been 10 years since the nation adopted the National Migration Policy of 2015, which deals with migration management for Nigeria. In adapting to global changes and to tandem with best practices, the Technical Working Group on Migration and Development is reviewing the policy as part of commitment to support safe and legal migration in the country.
The evolving nature of migration, influenced by economic changes, social conditions, conflicts and global events, has made it a pivotal issue in global, regional and national development to really look at the entire governance framework.
The Philippines is ready and open to share its experiences as well as the challenges that it encountered in the course of our management of migrants.
The Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrant and Internally Displaced Persons, Tijani Aliyu Ahmed, says Nigeria is committed to strengthening partnerships to ensure this policy continues to be relevant and effective in addressing evolving migration dynamics in the country.
We aim to create a well-informed and inclusive review process. Your contributions will help us shape a policy that addresses the needs and challenges of the stakeholders. The world is constantly changing, and our policies must adapt to these changes to remain effective and efficient.
The Technical Working Group, which comprises stakeholders from NDAs, civil society and the academia, is expected to initiate and ensure a unified and effective national migration policy review. In Abuja, Ruth Aguele.
Nigeria and China have once again made commitment towards deepening bilateral relations with each other, especially in the area of cultural exchanges. Chukunon Songwabweze reports that this was at the final of the 2024 Energy China-Nigeria Dance Competition held at the Chinese Cultural Center in Abuja.
One after the other, the dancers from the Chinese side, as well as their counterparts from Nigeria, dazzled on the dancing floor, showcasing their talents and creativity. At the end, Wang O emerged overall winner from the Chinese participants, while Barre Dance Group defeated other Nigerian contestants to equally emerge overall best from the Nigerian side.
We feel so excited and grateful for this platform. I want to thank everybody for supporting us.
This competition enhanced the friendship between China and Nigeria, and I'm very happy to have the #1.
Cultural Counselor of the Chinese Embassy in Nigeria, Li Juda, the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Arts, Culture and Creative Economy, James Sule, as well as other speakers, expressed optimism that the event will further strengthen the cordial relationship between Nigeria and China.
We do hope that Energy China-Nigeria dance competition creates a platform for both countries, the dancers and the dancer lovers, to learn from each other and improve themselves together.
Let us seize this opportunity to celebrate our shared heritage, embrace our differences, and forge a brighter future of collaboration and cultural exchanges together.
Through these events, we can further deepen the understanding and the friendship between the two peoples, and jointly promote cooperation and development in culture and other fields to contribute to building a China-Nigeria community with a shared future.
In its first edition, Energy China-Nigeria Dance Competition is expected to be an annual event to foster enduring partnership between the two countries. Chukunonsonwa Boeze, NTA News.
This is the news on NTA International. We take a break.
We will work diligently to make sure every Nigerian feels the impact of their government, the economic aspirations, and the material well-being of the poor, the most vulnerable, and the working people shall not be neglected. It is in this spirit that we are going to implement a new national living wage for our industrious workers this new year. It is not only good economics to do this, it's also a morally and politically correct thing to do.
Thanks for staying with us. The presidency has urged the public and the media to disregard the two fiscal policy documents in circulation, saying none is an approved official document of the federal government of Nigeria. A statement by Bayo Onanuga, special advisor to the president on information and strategy, noted that all are policy proposals that are still subject to reviews at the highest level of government. It notes that the coordinating minister of the economy further clarified, as previously stated by government officials, President Tinubu announced the end of the fuel subsidy program last year, and this policy remains firmly in place, stressing that the federal government is committed to mitigating the effects of this removal and easing the costs of living pressures on Nigerians. It also called on the media to always exercise necessary checks and restraints and the use of documents that do not emanate from official channels so that the members of the public are properly informed, guided and educated on government policies and programs. The Youth for Agricultural Revolution initiative has been launched in Abuja with 200 young people receiving training and farm inputs. A program of an agro-based non-governmental organization and supported by the federal and local authorities aims to raise a new generation of farmers who will take pride in agriculture to create abundant food and jobs.
We need development partners. We need people like this to actually attain the food security we're all clamoring for.
We in Abuja Municipal Area Council, we're going to take it up. We're going to monitor these people that came from the various wards we are representing, which is Abuja Municipal Area Council, 12 wards. I'm assuring you, by the next 6 months or 1 year to come, you will see the result that is going to come out of.
Our focus and our expectation is that with this revolution, we are bringing more hands into the system. And the bigger the output, the cheaper the product. So we're hoping that once we get more youth, we have more output, definitely the price of the food in the market will go down.
The initiative is to be replicated in all the 36 states of the Federation, focusing on rural youths. Stakeholders in the cocoa sector in Nigeria are fine-tuning the modalities for the national policy on cocoa. To this end, a committee has been set up as directed by the Minister of Agriculture to develop a framework to enhance cocoa value chain and boost Nigeria's cocoa export. The committee is also to identify the pitfalls in export challenge, especially how to meet all the European Union specifications.
Production side is there. The National Cocoa Plan also have the plan for increased production. We are targeting to increase our current production of about 270,000 metric tons to about 700,000 metric tons in the next 5 years.
They want to achieve one thing. They want all the population of cocoa committee, cocoa group, this and this. They want them to have a one body that will give them a direction. Two, to ensure that the quality of cocoa that is coming out of Nigerian soil are high quality.
The Public Complaints Commission says it is committed to protecting the rights and privileges of all Nigerians who may be maltreated in one way or the other by governments, ministries, agencies and private institutions. Chief Commissioner of the Commission, Abimbola Ayo Yusuf, stated this at a one-day retreat organized by the State Commissioners of the Commission. Ilyasu Yakubu reports.
Public Complaints Commission is an organ of government set up to find solutions to complaints lodged by aggrieved citizens or residents in Nigeria against administrative injustice and also promote social justice for citizens. The Commission has been innovating strategies on how best to improve public administration of laws, procedures, practices, rules and regulations, as well as standard behavior of the people. This retreat for 37 state commissioners representing the 36 states of the Federation, including the FCT, is to appraise the activities of the team led by the Chief Commissioner, Abimbola Ayo Yusuf.
We have risen to the occasion, made necessary inputs to stabilize the Commission, with pending legal frameworks to better reposition the Commission.
A lot of creativity, support of the administrative staff did help and assist us in achieving all that we were able to achieve.
You know, when people say we don't know anything about Public Complaints Commission, it's because it has not happened to them. Injustice has not happened to them. Until injustice happens to someone and you run to us, then you start saying, oh, they exist.
There are too many people in the country who requires simple things. Either they work somewhere, they've not paid them, or they've done something somewhere and they need to be heard. I'm happy to be part of those who gave them hope and the voice to be heard.
Available records indicate that the Commission has received 791,026 complaints, and out of this number, 499,400 have been successfully resolved, with the complainant smiling home. In Abuja, Ilyasu Yakubu, NTA News.
Nigeria is to launch satellites built by Nigerian scientists and engineers with ground stations and data collecting centers domiciled in Nigeria. The Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Nnaji, announced this at a two-day stakeholders workshop organized by the European Union in collaboration with NASDA and other partners. The report.
The Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Nnaji, stated that the President Bola Tinubu-led administration is working to launch satellites aimed at providing innovative space-based solutions to address the challenges facing the country. He said government is committed to actualizing this feat as it will be utilized in various areas such as security, pipeline monitoring, food security in agriculture, as well as diverse sectors that will be beneficial to the sustainable development of our nation, and that artificial intelligence is one of the primary focus of the ministry. Director General, National Space Research and Development Agency, NASDA, Dr. Matthew Adepoju, assured that there are competent and capable crop of engineers and scientists that can build, launch, and operate the proposed satellites in the agency, and is prepared to take all necessary measures to continue providing space-based solutions to the country's challenges, adding that the application of artificial intelligence and robotics is a critical factor in satellite technology.
As a space agency, we are the leaders in this sector, and we must position ourselves to work with all the critical stakeholders and partners that can help us realize the vision of Mr. President.
Other speakers that include Director General of the Energy Commission, the Program Officer at the European Delegation to Nigeria, and ECOWAS said the workshop will explore the transformative potential of space technology, artificial intelligence, and data analysis, enhancing agricultural practices for security in Nigeria.
The President and Chairman of Council of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR, Dr. Ike Neliaku, has expressed gratitude to God, the security agencies, and the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, over the safe release of the abducted chairman of Abia State Chapter of the Institute, Mr. Felix Olunkwa. Dr. Neliaku, in a statement he personally endorsed, said Mr. Olunkwa was released on Wednesday night while he is, at the moment, recuperating at a medical facility. He also conveyed the gratitude of Olunkwa to the NIPR family for rallying support and prayers during his incarceration in kidnappers' den. Next is the weather forecast. And that's it on the news. On behalf of Shegun Ajayi, who's been on sign language, this is Nancy Godianguni, who thanking you for watching.
International. Today we will be discussing the girl child education, a critical issue that affects the lives of the female child in Nigeria. In the light of it, we will look at the challenges bedeviling the girl child education and what plans have been put in place to improve the standard of education for them. My name is Ibrahim Yusuf and I welcome you on the program. Stay tuned. Despite the efforts by the government and other partners towards improving the girl child education, there is still the need to examine the causes of illiteracy among girls in Nigeria. We will bring you this feature on the causes of lack of education for the girl child. Please watch.
Education is a form of development that revives a nation. Therefore, when the citizens are educated, the nation moves faster on the pedestal ladder of development. Nigeria is a signatory to several international conventions on child education and equality. This she hopes to partner with other agencies, especially international organizations, to remedy the increase in girl-child school dropouts in the country. In 2014, the United Nations Children Education Fund reported that about 10.5 million children in Nigeria were out of school. Approximately 60% of this figure were girls who could not be educated due to one form of challenge or another. What actually are the reasons for girl-child school dropouts?
Ignorance. What my ignorance is that somebody doesn't know the value of education. We have some culture that might be thinking that educating a girl child, they're just wasting their money. After all, at the end of the day, they will go to the husband's house. Unknown to them that educating one girl child is almost educating the whole nation. Because breeding and weaning of a child from the birth to the age of 18, they are almost in the custody of the mother.
Other factors have also been identified to be responsible for girl-child school dropouts.
In some places, because of the demand of the family, you understand, they now engage the girl child, to go for hockey. You understand? Because of the poverty level. Because some of them also, that hockey they do, some of them even went to the extent of making money so that they were able to use the money during their marriage period.
Religious misconceptions. Some religion feels that if you keep a girl child at home at a particular age without giving out for marriage, maybe it's against the ethic of that culture. And nowhere in any religion that forbids a girl to acquire education to a particular level.
Some parents, they don't have money to send them to school, while some don't even know the importance of education.
Another one again, because of all this strike, you know, it's the primary school is on strike, secondary school is on strike, university is on strike. The tendency is that those girls, they move around. You understand? So it can also, it's an effect, or cause the whites of girls are not going to school.
Taking a look at the scenario of an illiterate mother who can neither write nor read, her lack of communicative and cognitive skills will impact negatively on her children and family, unlike a mother who has gone through formal education.
A well-educated woman, a well-educated lady will be able to advise and guide her child towards moral conduct. No mother wants to see her child misbehave on the street. But if such a mother is not well educated, she wouldn't mind how she behaves. But an educated child wants to tell her own word to ensure that he is becoming useful to himself and useful to the community, useful to the country at large.
Efforts at educating the girl child has since taken the front burner of government policies, even at a time when there is huge demand for domestic servants by many families.
Some of the girls, they use them as housemates. So instead of sending them to school, you understand, they use them as housemates. Like in Abuja city, what especially, you discover that even our schools, what especially the one in the city, you discover that it's only some of the privileged ones that go to school. I'm talking of the privileged, some of the privileged people that hire them that send them to school. Some of them live there as housemates. So even promise their parents that when they come to the city, they're going to put them in school. So before you know finish, by the time they start working, they will just forget. So that's how some of the causes we have in the society.
In 2004, Nigeria demonstrated her commitment to education by enacting into law the Universal Basic Education (UBE). Recently, this effort has been boosted with numerous government programs such as school feeding programs, provision of school infrastructure, among others. These programs, no doubt, have dwarfed the once high rate of out-of-school children, especially the girl child. If these efforts are sustained, in no distant time, girl child school dropout will be a thing of the past.
These causes are no doubt man-made and can be addressed adequately. Now, let's look at some of the benefits of girl child education.
According to Nelson Mandela, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Its benefits cut across every facet of human endeavor. To those who understand it, education is a passport to the future. The Millennium Development Goals 2 and 3 promoted universal primary education and gender equity globally. And these approaches are to ensure that more children, both boys and girls, received basic primary schooling by the year 2015. Projecting these dreams further, in 2015, the Sustainable Development Goals were launched with a view to improve human lives through planned efforts among member nations of the global body. The SDGs 4 and 5 ensure that all girls and boys complete free primary and secondary schooling by 2030 and eradicate age-long educational disparity between both gender in our society. For Mrs. Safia Bakare, girl-child education has been her utmost priority in life. She also sees larger benefits when a girl child is educated.
Educating a girl child is like educating a nation, at least. So if you educate a female child, you have educated the whole nation myself. So that is what informed me to educate my own children. Like assisting the poor people, assisting my parents, my old parents that have not gone to school. Now I'm a useful thing to them now. Then even my first daughter now, she's a medical doctor. So from the beginning, I've started seeing the benefit from her. Now she has started assisting the family.
It was really okay seeing my mom. So I wanted to also be like her. Then the encouragement I got from them was like more than enough.
The education of the girl child has been a discourse that has dominated public fora with array of challenges militating against it.
I cannot allow my own children to just marry early. It's even better when they are in the process of learning in the university, then they have gotten a man, maybe at least that man Kuma has promised that yes, they are going to continue their education. Like me, my husband married me when I just finished my secondary school. But when my parents now said that if you want to marry her, you have to educate her, and he agreed. So it's based on promise. He agreed.
A case where a girl child is married out with a promise to be trained in school, and later the husband reneged on his promise. What becomes the fate of that woman?
It depends on the girl, what she wanted. Maybe if she wants to continue with her marriage, then she should continue and be patient and then look for something to be doing. At least, it depends. Individual in difference. So if she wants to do away with the marriage talk, If she wants to continue with the marriage, let her continue with the marriage, because now there's nothing she can do. She has already entered now. She has committed herself.
The benefits of girl-child education cannot be overemphasized in the family and society.
The girl child, from home to bed and the society as a whole, she will try to say that in everything she do it in the right way. And because of the exposure to the education, it will give her that power, that courage to do anything she wants to do. And whoever she is trying to inculcate knowledge into, she tries to give him the best.
Living in a global world where human activities are interconnected and where actions outside one's domain affect almost everything at home, it will take the ability of an educated wife to manage the affairs at home against having a failed home.
If you are educated, you know how to take care of your family. Talk of the children. We have a lot of things happening today in the society, especially Africa, where we find our economic system is bad. You know how to manage. But when you are not educated, you don't know what is management. With the little resources you have, you know what you can put together to be able to give your family the best.
As countries move towards sustainable development, only nations with high rates of women education and gender equality will achieve economic development.
You will agree with me that these benefits are numerous. Now, in our society today, many women have made great impacts in their chosen career, even beyond the expectations of the men. This tells us that the girl-child education should not just be a moral imperative, but a national priority. We will go on a break at this time. What Matters will be back shortly.